Gather round, gather round. The yearly award show that actually matters is finally here.
Know your fucking place, trash!
Normally I tend to keep my personal life out of my videos, but you guys, dudes and dudettes, it has been a really difficult year, perhaps the hardest one. I've lost people dear to me, I've lost friends, and I've worked more than I should have. And so, my time to play awesome games has been limited, but simultaneously it's also been amazing. I bought my own apartment, with your help I should add. I met new fantastic people, I got to know myself again, and I've rediscovered what fun life can be. To sum it up, we are not here to feel sorry about ourselves. We are here to celebrate, not only the closing year that was 2022, and take a leap into the new year, but also for the many possibilities that are seemingly limitless, and the fresh start we'll all get, and probably need. So let me take you on the journey of my favorite games from the recent year, that I've played, not which was necessarily released, and some bad eggs thrown in as well. Enjoy the ride. Most disappointing game of 2022. $1.5 million.
Let me in!
3 hours later.
Hey!
When a game gets a sequel who no one really wanted or needed, and that sequel is almost identical to the prequel, but worse somehow, you get Overwatch 2. The game is so incredibly mediocre, because aside from some fine-tuning changing the game to be 5v5 and 2 new heroes, no real improvements have been made. The worst offender is the removal of loot boxes and exchanging that with a tragic battle pass system. All the while doubling the price of all skins. How backwards can you be? Gameplay itself is serviceable because it's Overwatch 1, and sometimes it can even be considered fun. But as a package, and when comparing it to Overwatch, I can't really mention anything positive. And I almost forgot to mention the slow pace at which you can earn currency to buy skins from. If you do every weekly challenge, you can get a total of 60 coins. Okay, that sounds not too shabby. But a skin that doesn't look like complete shit costs 1900. Which means, and I did the math, that you need to do every weekly challenge for 31.67 weeks straight in order to be able to unlock one skin. I'm just so fucking tired of Activision and the shit they do all the fucking time. What a fall from grace. It hurts to see, man. Worst game of 2022.
To realize that power, there's something you need to do. You need to be your own boss.
It's our time now. Let's get this shit started.
Reboots are a common occurrence in today's video game industry. It can either lead to something really great, or a complete cluster truck. The announcement was met with cautious optimism, but when the gameplay reveal trailer reared its ugly head, one thing was painfully clear. The spirit and intention from former Saints Row games was gone, and mediocrity had taken its place. It didn't really help the game when the developers started trashing worries and criticism by stating, quote, "haters gonna hate," to this guy. Just imagine how tone deaf you have to be. Well, karma is indeed a bitch, as the game released to less than stellar reviews, with a plethora of bugs, missing content and other disasters. And at first I was feeling bad for devs who actually put their heart into the game. But it quickly vanished when they have passive-aggressive douchebags working on the game. If there's anyone who worked on the game and truly did their best and wanted to make something great, I am sorry. But this is a pile of shit that isn't even worth your time if it's given to you for free. Rest in peace to the Saints. Most anticipated game 2023.
It is a beautiful day on Citadel Station. Humanity is on the verge of a new era. I, Shodan, am its new god.
It looks like 2023 will be a packed year, especially in regard to remakes, reboots and potentially remasters. But a game I've been looking forward to be released and experiencing full terror is System Shock. I have my eyes on Songs of Conquest as well, because that is looking like it will be a lot of fun. Dead Space and Callisto Protocol are space horror games as well, but System Shock has something that both of these games don't focus on: paranoia. Fear scares me in a psychological jump scary way, while System Shock is the game that makes the hair on my neck rise, while I turn around to look over my shoulder every minute, just to make sure no one creeps up on me. I hope we'll see a resurgence of a horror genre where jump scares and scary enemy designs isn't the norm, but a game where atmosphere, tension, and as mentioned before, paranoia takes center stage. I hope they manage to keep the feel of the game the same, with updated graphics and control. System Shock scared me back in the day, and now over 10 years later, I hope it'll throw me back to the same scared, yet thrilled little boy that I was. Of the games I did play this year, many were indie titles, and Loop Hero was one of those games I had seen but didn't expect much from, but I was happily surprised by the amount of fun I had when playing. The game has a very simple setup, with your chosen hero looping around a semi-random trail map and fighting enemies around the way. Each full loop nets you some HP recovery and enemies get subsequently stronger. To aid you, enemies may drop equipment and other things that can make you stronger, and you'll also get a large amount of terrain cards, which lets you build a map of sorts. All gameplay also happens automatically, except you can pause and play. As you complete a journey or die, you'll return to camp where you can build new buildings, upgrade existing ones and a few other different things. Then you go on another journey, and that is pretty much the game. Loop Hero is strangely addicting, and with a serviceable story and humorous creative dialogue, this is an easy personal recommendation. I hope to see more from these guys soon. I never really joined the hype train in regards to Phasmophobia, yet 2 years later I had the perfect opportunity and I gave it a chance that paid off. I had no real idea what the game was or how it functioned, and this only intensified the amount of fun and tension I had with the game. The concept is nothing new, but it's the execution that amplifies the enjoyment, and playing it with a few friends is sure to be a good time. Experiencing jump scares or trying to survive a haunting can really egg you on, and it's the need to realize what type of ghost haunts the location while also trying your best to survive becomes this tug of war that is hard to match. Not knowing is sometimes the core of what makes something scary, and that is just as true with Phasmophobia. Learning more and more is a joy, but unfortunately as you learn more, you also realize how the game works behind the scenes, which removes every bit of scariness that the game had before. Still, the game is a good time and continues to improve as time passes, and I'm glad to see the success of this studio.
For soldiers, war is about victory. For us, it was about getting food.
With the current state of the world, let's remind ourselves that war is worse than hell. In a game that showcases just how bad things can get, we have This War of Mine, The Little Ones. I got this for free on PS Plus many years ago, but it's only recently that I got drawn into this great depiction of war and the many tragedies it brings with it. This survival simulator starts off innocuous enough, where the first days are all about just using the surrounding materials and tools to get by. But it can change in a single heartbeat. At night you can explore and scavenge various locations. Some places you can trade materials as well, and in some places you'll face death. You have to manage your people while simultaneously trying to minimize the potential losses and even unexpected raids, weather or even military interrupting your plans. I so enjoyed this depiction of war, where nothing is sacred and everything is shown, how you can see in-game form how full of despair war can be. The game was received so well that the Polish government added the game to the recommended reading list in Polish high schools the first time this happened. And as an addition, they even let you download the game for free.
Free!
Now that is a stamp of approval if I ever saw one. Back in April this year I had the opportunity to download a free game I'd heard great things about, and I'm joyful that I did. Slay the Spire is another of the indie group that captured my interest, and then some this year. The game expertly displays how simple games can hold so much fun within them. Slay the Spire can be summarized to a tower climbing, deck building roguelike. Every time you try to, as the name implies, slay the spire, you choose one of 4 characters and you start climbing. What makes this fun and sometimes frustrating is that every journey feels different somehow, either by choosing another character or getting other cards, and each character also has many types of synergies, which again makes it more fun. An unlimited amount of replayability, paired with unique fun trophy challenges for the most part. And finally, the extremely low cost for this quality game makes it an easy pick for the best games I've played this year. Well done, guys.
More and more androids show signs of deviancy. There are millions in circulation. If they become unstable, the consequences will be disastrous.
My name is Kara. This is where it all began.
I've always loved the games where you can choose, and those choices actually impact the game. My favorite so far must be Until Dawn, but at the start of 2022, I played through Detroit Become Human, finally. It has an amazing introduction to the universe, and right from the start it got my adrenaline pumping. You're sent in to de-escalate a situation where a little girl is in danger, and it's up to you to find clues and deduct the best way forward. I was so nervous to fail this little child, and it sucked me into the game immediately. During the game you follow this android cop and his partner, a girl and an android, and finally an android trying to find his own place in the world. A life. In places there's a bit too much downtime, or go here and fetch this thing then go back gameplay, but overall it's just a blast with many different paths, and this really ups the replayability. My recommendation is to go in completely blind like I did, if you can that is, and play through the entire game to enjoy it fully, and then you can explore all the different choices you could have made and how they impact the story. I love Detroit, and perhaps I'll go back there one day. Getting over my fear of zombies, which was real, yes, I managed to slowly trek through Resident Evil 4 a few years ago, a remake I'm really looking forward to. But although I had found some new interest in these zombie games, with RE2 remake and Dying Light for example, I still hadn't played Resident Evil remake. So in the dead of night, during the hallowed month, I sat down, turned off the lights, and jumped into what I now like to call a horror survival masterpiece. Going in blind was favorable, as I got to experience the game as it was meant to be experienced. Solving puzzles and finding out how to progress or figure out minor hidden things became more fulfilling. As you learn your way around the place and realize the way forward, it's clear that the game is semi-short, but for once it's not to the detriment of quality, quite the opposite. Perhaps the strongest positive thing about Resident Evil Remake is the quality, along with the atmospheric dread. In terms of remakes, it seems to be the first golden standard, and it still looks and plays absolutely fantastic over 20 years later. I pretty much have no negative points to make about it, and I'm certain it's not the last time that I return to the Spencer Mansion. While it certainly took a while, at the start of the year I dove into the agricultural phenomenon Stardew Valley. Entirely crafted by one person, Eric Barone, better known as Concerned Ape. It's a charming, mostly relaxing experience, and it surprised me by the amount of things you could actually do. Like customize your house, build new buildings that improves your daily life, and just the way growing crops and raising livestock works. It is so very addicting. Add on the ability to socialize with townspeople and even marry and get kids with one. This is a game with a lot of content. Replayable and cozy, this is the game you load up on a late September night and let the hours just waste away as you submerge yourself in the town of Stardew Valley. Certain games you play and perhaps you think those games are pretty great. Maybe you even think back on them every now and then. Certain games you replay over and over again as you can't get enough of them. And certain games you can't play again. Nor can you forget about them. Because during those moments, those simple, stress-free moments, everything in life was great. But that's the thing about moments. Moments pass. Stardew Valley, for me, is one of those games. Number 1.
Of the Elden Ring, emboldened by the flame of ambition, someone must extinguish thy flame.
To the shock of no one, Elden Ring is uncontestedly the best game I played this year. If only accounting for the amount of content and hours you can put into it without finishing the game, it's way above the clouds. The huge scale and freedom was a fantastic addition, but also a step in the wrong direction for myself, as I prefer my Souls games to not be open worlds, but perhaps that's just me. Building my character in every way I wanted them to be, finding armor sets which I loved, and being able to change the Ash of War to be something more my style was a gift from the god himself, and it's here where the game really outshines most others today. The game had some shortcomings, I won't lie, and the release was less than stellar, which makes me a tiny bit sad. Multiple reused assets and dungeons feeling a bit too similar also hampered my enjoyment. And let's not talk about Melania.
Aww, Oh, did somebody hurt you? Get over here, you little fucker! You little piece of shit! I hate you! I hate you! Woo!
But all in all, the enjoyment was top notch. Elden Ring did live up to my expectations, and the Legacy dungeons are my favorite places to explore, where it feels like a true Souls game. But I'm slightly worried with the way the game design is going, so I hope my worries are easily squelched. At probably the lowest point in my life, the game actually managed to cheer me up a tiny amount, and for that I am eternally grateful. Elden Ring is a game I will come back to again and again, and isn't that one of the best qualities a game can have in the end? With that, I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the awards and that your year has been mostly positive, or that you've found joy within the darkness. And as I start to sound like a Kingdom Hearts villain, it's time to depart. Subscribe for more like this and let me know your best game down in the comments. I really do hope you have a fantastic 2023. I myself sure needs it. And hopefully we'll see each other again. Goodbye, everyone.